Hey YouTube, Shelka04 here. So today I wanted to discuss the 30,000 emails that Hillary Clinton supposedly lost on her email server. This is the private email server that she's been questioned about and is having, I don't know if you want to call it problems or what have you. Now, what qualifies me to make this video? First off, I worked for between 15 and 20 years in the computer industry. I had the position of network administrator at a number of large facilities. I also, while working at Oregon State University in Corvallis, Oregon, had the responsibility of being the email administrator and postmaster for the College of Engineering at Oregon State. I had thousands of accounts in that system, and I dealt with hundreds of thousands, if not probably, I don't know, over 1 million emails that were on that system. That's what qualifies me to make this video. I personally managed an email server, is the bottom line. So what I want to do is discuss some things that the general public may not be aware of or may not be considering. First off, let me say that if you're going to delete 30,000 emails, you can do it one of two ways. You can do a date range and say I want to delete everything from June until August, which would be easy to do, but it would take a long time to do. The second option is you could go in and say, delete every email that contains the phrases Clinton Trust or something like that. That would take longer to query the database and pull those records out than doing what I mentioned initially. Now, let me say, doing that kind of search would possibly, depending upon what sort of system they're running, take as long as half an hour, if not longer, to do. Then, as you probably know from your own email experience, the minute you hit the delete button, it takes a few minutes to process that request. Deleting 30,000 emails would take a long time, a couple of hours. Now, once you delete that many emails, what you then have to do in order to keep the post office running is go in and repack the database. And what that means is the emails basically sit in a database that you go and query when you want to go look at something. When you delete that much information, you create gaps and holes in that database file. And in order for the post office to run correctly and to keep functioning, you basically need to go and re-index that database. That would take hours. When I used to do it at Oregon State University, re-indexing the database took a day and a half. The reason I mention that is because this wasn't a whoops, oh shit, I hit the delete button and turned into something that you couldn't have gotten away from. I want to propose the idea that that was intentional. Now, the other thing is, anybody worth their salt would have a backup of that database. And I don't know whether they ran a daily backup or a weekly backup or a monthly backup or a quarterly backup or a biannual backup or an annual backup. There would be a backup that they could go to and restore the old post office. Unless they omitted or deleted the 30,000 emails, repacked the database, and then backed it up and deleted all the previous backups from that point. Is that intentional? You tell me. It's something that if I had done that, I would have lost my job. It would be a big no-no. And the idea or the reasoning behind that is because if somebody needed to get something restored or call up an email from last year or something that they had deleted, we need to have that ability. And yet that seems to be lost in the pile or has been glossed over with regards to the discussion of these 30,000 emails. So again, let me reiterate before I end this video. They would have backed up the post office, so there's no discussion as to where that backup is. It would have taken a long time to process the deletion of those emails. That would have been a process that they could have terminated midstream had they known or worried about what they were doing. Secondly, deleting 30,000 emails isn't something that would have happened instantaneously and would have taken a day or two at least to have performed and recovered from, and if you want to call it, covered your ass from. Just my thoughts. Was it intentional? I don't know. Was it wrong? I don't know. Were they trying to hide some stuff that they didn't want the FBI or the Department of State to see? Or the Department of Justice? I don't know. I'm just telling you the facts. If you haven't run an email system, this is the way it is. And to me, it's sort of something that I think people need to be aware of. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Otherwise, I look forward to hearing from you. Oh, and please subscribe to my channel. Shelka04 out. Thanks.